me tell you, I love this job. You know why I love this job? Because you get to talk to fascinating people and good friends. In this case, it's the same guy in one. This is Joe Piscopo.
How are you? Good to see you.
He's a star of stage and screen. You look tremendous.
I've been up since 3 o'clock. I've been up since 3
Well, tell everybody why you're up at 3. Your show starts in when?
6 o'clock, AM970 The Answer.
Till 10?
Until 10 o'clock, it's 4 hours of radio. Who came up with this idea, Steve? How are you, man?
Good to see you.
You know you get more handsome as you get older.
2 words.
Look at him.
Dorian
Gray.
My mother's...
Bloomfield Avenue.
All right, we can do this all day. Want to talk about The Godfather? No, I'm joking. We did. It's a joke. When I'm supposed to be on Joe's
Can I
talking
say
about
something
public
right off the
policy.
bat?
Yes.
I know. Thank you.
This can be out of control
You
already.
do so much for Newark, man. The Adubato family, legendary Newark. It's like royalty in Newark, right? My family comes up. Mom born in East Kinney Street. Dad brought up on Mount Prospect Avenue. My grandfather, Rosario, had a hat store on Bloomfield Avenue.
Look at this.
Look at it.
And then you moved up the Avenue West to the Caldwells.
They went with all the Wasps.
Did you go to Bloomfield?
To the Wasps. I didn't know what Madras was.
What high school did you go to?
West Essex High School.
West Essex.
And you know what? My 20th reunion.
I thought you were thrown out.
I did. I know you were. eight times I broke the record.
I know.
And they still invited me to the reunion.
Okay, I cut off your story. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, it's great that, we're all part of through Raymond Chambers, our mentor.
Yes.
And
the great philanthropist.
it's Saint Raymond. And he has put so much into this town, and you have too. It's great. I'm coming in. It's Newark, New Jersey.
This is NJTV.
It's busy.
NJTV's in Newark. It's making it happen.
And you stay in Newark.
Okay, Joe, you ready?
Yes.
Can we talk some things outside of the things that you and I just like talking about?
Just don't make eye contact with me.
I want to hear start to laugh. By the way,
just when your relatives are going like that.
Okay. Come here. Okay, listen. I stop, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Trump, you love him. Go ahead. Why?
Every time I put Steve on my show in the morning, it's like they said, Steve comes on your radio show. I go, yes. I have to defend the president. Steve does his thing.
Oh, listen. Listen. All I'm asking is why you seriously. I hear you with our good friend Neil Cavuto.
Yeah.
I see you with Maria Bartiromo, who you see in our Open.
May I tell you first, because you're my buddy? Neil asked me to be on the show this afternoon.
And you said?
I'm on Steve Adubato's show.
Do you only go on Italian shows?
And so, you know what Neil said to me? Who is that again? No, he
did not. He did not. Neil's a friend. Stop that. Don't even go there.
I swear to God, I said to Neil, I got to go on Steve's show, and I've been meaning to go on it. I can't.
Right,
he goes,
stop.
great, so I'm on tomorrow. So thanks. So he sends his love.
It was Barzini.
No.
I'm sorry. I won't do this anymore. Jen, don't get mad at me. No more Godfather references. So here we go.
Esoteric Godfather.
So here we go. Godfather to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Why do you love... You've said I love this guy.
Did I say that? Yeah.
Yes.
I think that, honestly, I've known him for... God, Steve, I mean, you were in high school. I was working the casinos, brother, right? And I would work for Donald Trump. I would go, they would say, there's a birthday party, Mr. Trump wants a birthday party. I worked with the guy. I never got treated better. He would send a private jet. He would do, and then, you know what? Your career, and Lord knows my career, it goes up, it goes down, you hit, you miss, you keep going. When I remember there was a downtime and I was in Atlantic City, I was at Kimberly, and I wanted to go to the hotel and use the gym. Donald Trump, gave Dennis Gomes, rest his brilliant soul.
Right.
That was his guy. Let Joe whatever he needs. You don't forget.
We own the casino.
You don't forget about that stuff. You know?
But as president, he treated you great.
Please.
But no, I'm not talking about that he liked you and he took care of you. That's great. I'm happy for my friend.
But it makes you appreciate.
Hold on, Joe. As the president, are you ever concerned, as the gentleman that you are, the way you treat people with class and dignity, the way I know you respect women? Please tell me, Joe, there isn't a part of you that says, boy, I wish he'd behave a little differently.
You know what? I have to be, you don't want to marginalize. I learned this on the radio. He is, with due respect to everybody, we had progressives on today. I talk to both sides all the time. Right president, the right president at the right time. He's doing everything exactly what needs to be done. And I don't want to get too political, but right now, we're a young country, Steve, my friend. We're a young country. And you know how our families came from Italy. They came to Italy.
From Naples. Our families came from the same place.
Bloomfield Avenue.
Go ahead.
What do? They learned the laws. They learned the language. They wanted to become American. People are coming into the country now, and they don't... the disrespect we're getting out of the House of Representatives on the Democratic side is insulting to me personally in the name of my grandfather. I think this president is the right guy at the right time.
I appreciate you saying all this, Joe, but you ducked my question about his tone, his demeanor, and the way he conducts himself in public. I didn't even talk about his policies. I'm asking you, civil discourse, respect for each other, not name calling, not mocking people.
How about if it starts from the press? How about if
Don't do what about them?
But what about them? What about that? You know, I always say.
You think we have a vendetta for this guy?
No, but I think that, and I don't know that it's so much Donald Trump as it is a conservative president. That's what I think. Anybody's Republican, and listen, I'm an independent. I'm a libertarian, man. I think both parties are crazy. You know, I'm a lifelong Democrat.
That's right.
Remember Frank Lautenberg, remember Bill Bradley, all the good.
You've said good things about Cory Booker.
When the Democrats were common sense Democrats, you know? So when the press goes out, and I ask you this, Steve, does the president have any alternative but to tweet out?
Rather than to raise the bar and conduct himself in a different fashion? My opinion?
Yes. Yeah, would he do that?
You think he's got to punch back, don't you?
You know, I'll tell you what, I go by my audience. I have to tell you this. Would I like him to not tweet? Would I like him just to take the high road? I think that would be the best thing to do.
But you don't expect him to do it, do you?
Yeah, when I decipher the news, and we break down the news on AM970 The Answer, with if I may, with Frankie Morano,
Al Gattullo, and Debbie Duhane.
We got by the grace of God, we're the Salem Media flagship station. I have to decipher the news. I don't even know how I got here, but I'm loving it. Into the 6th year, I have to read. Not only do I have to see the news and look what it is, I have to decipher it, break it down, and then make an opinion on it. They attack this guy, President Trump, like nothing I've ever seen. So when I say on the air, and I do, boy, it'd be great what the president has done, how he stopped ISIS. That's monumental how he stopped ISIS. How he went in, how he created the jobs that he's doing in the Latino and the black communities. I know from the inside how he's helping the inner cities like nobody else is on the Democratic side. Then they nail him on every which way. The callers will call and say, he's got no choice but to tweet out. He's got no choice but to fight back. He's got no choice but
to mock people, call them names, and degrade them just by making reference to their physical appearance. Respectfully, Joe, you're not being consistent. I'll tell you why. Because you don't act that way. Because you don't treat people that way. Because you believe in respect, and that's what we came from. And respectfully, I don't see it there.
And you know what? I ain't president of the United States either. You know.
You don't think that job requires? Listen. Say what you will about Obama. Yeah. I know you disagree with him on a lot of things. Did he conduct himself like a classy president?
Never showed up in the neighborhood in South Chicago. He never showed up in the neighborhood. Look at the work the Adubato family has done, the inner cities of the United States. I tell you, never showed up in the neighborhood, never went back. We're more worried, and I agree, you have to worry about the devastation of the southern border of the United States. How about going to Patterson? Have you seen Patterson? Beautiful, great town, beautiful people. Go to Patterson. How about Oakland, California? How about New Orleans? You know, my mission in the last 25 years has been to help at-risk children. I never saw, and again, nothing, I don't want to say hate. I don't hate anybody.
That's not you.
I don't disrespect President Obama. If he went in, and I said this to a couple of my Democratic friends, get President Obama, even now, I think President Trump should reach out to President Obama, and they should do a tour of the stressed areas.
Do you think President Trump would reach out?
Maybe after the election. Maybe after
what do you
think
think is going to happen in 2020?
Well, I think it's a landslide. I think Donald Trump buries him. No one can even show up. I'll tell you. And it's just the way I look. I decipher it. There's nobody. When I go out, and I know what you're talking about because you and I are we're cut from the same cloth politically. And I come from that Bloomfield Avenue cloth where it's all Democrat. I couldn't even say the word Republican. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. But when I went down, and I went out with Mayor Giuliani, and I went down on the road to campaign.
You were campaigning in 2016 for the president.
Yeah, man. I went out, and I saw in the face, in this big rally of 20,000 people in Tampa, I saw these people looking for something. They had no one to represent them.
And he hasn't disappointed them?
No, he hasn't disappointed them. He's been sticking up for the people. But to your point, and to answer your question directly, do I think that this president has done a good enough job where he can put the phone down and that he could just be, quote unquote, presidential? When he is, they bury him. So, and look, he knows better because look at how many people he won in that.
Give me one more minute on this. SNL, you were the star. You and that other guy, Eddie, I can't remember his last name. When you and Eddie Murphy just ran this town, New York, right? You guys were the best. Do you think Alec Baldwin, when he does the Trump thing, when they lay on Trump, it's no different than any other president, Joe? And you know comedy better than anybody.
Well, I said, you don't cut funny. So, although I tell you, there's this guy, John D. Domenico. I just got off the phone with John. He's going to do the Rolling Gold Glove Awards with us. He's so funny as Donald Trump. I did Ronald Reagan, what Ronald Reagan did when I did President Reagan, and I was a hardcore Democrat, and I used to take shots at President Reagan.
He left.
I got invited to the White House.
They left.
I got invited to the White House.
By the way, you made fun of
a kid from Bloomfield, New Jersey, at the White House.
Did you not make a joke about the great Frank Sinatra?
Well, we kind of.
But he said it was all right.
It wasn't a joke. We used to do. I would do impression.
You did impression. I apologize.
Yeah,
and he said it was all right, kid.
Yeah, I asked permission. I asked the Godfather permission. That's an Italian thing, man. It's Italian. I thought we'd come in and have some laughs about Bloomfield Avenue.
I'm sorry. See, Joe.
Politics. Can I tell you this?
Go ahead. Got 30 seconds. Go.
Everybody's got to relax. We're the United States of America. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your lifestyle is. I don't care what your religion is. Just don't ask me to be like you.
Agreed.
Leave us all alone. We will
Agreed.
get along. Put the hate aside. Put aside the divide,
Doesn't
man.
start at 1600. Never mind, Joe. You and I are going to talk off the air. But I still love you.
I love you too, Steve. God
Can
bless.
I come back on the show, or am I out now?
God bless.
You need a wartime.
On the island?
Okay.
No,
Okay.
go back.
This is Joe Piscopo. Check him out every morning at AM970, 6 a.m. He wakes up, I don't know, 1:30 in the morning to do the show. To 10. Stop looking at yourself.
No, look, who's on the screen? You're on the screen.
We look good together.
God bless you,
See
my
you.
son.
Stop. Get off. We're done. We're done.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Atlantic Health System, Johnson & Johnson, NJ Best, New Jersey's 529 College Savings Plan, Suez, Georgian Court University, the law firm of Gibbons, P.C., and by Keystone Mountain Lakes Regional Council of Carpenters. Promotional support provided by bestofnj.com and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.